Hello, and welcome to episode 14, I believe, of Mediocre Military Modeling. And today we're going to look at a pretty interesting model that I put together. This is the M4A3E8 Sherman. This is an EZ8 Korean War version of the Sherman. And this is a sort of newer Tamiya kit. I believe 2018 this came out. So I would consider it a newer Tamiya kit, at least compared to those ones they are still putting out from like the 70s. Now, when I did my video on the Sherman Jumbo from Tamiya, I thought that was a newer kit as well. I was tricked by the newer style box art, but I was told by a commenter that that was actually a kit from the 1980s. So, my bad, the cool newer style box art kind of tricked me. But I did go on ScaleMates and I did confirm this actually is a newer Tamiya kit from 2018. And I do like the newer Tamiya kits. They have a good balance of like ease of putting together. They're not too difficult, but they're more detailed, and they're usually they're a little more accurate, and they're just overall nicer. Sometimes they come with like PE. Sometimes they come with photo etch. This one did not. I don't really think this one needed it. But yes, this is the old Sherman we all know and love from the Second World War. This is the EZ8, so this is the later in the war sort of Sherman. I believe they have enhanced suspension, and of course the larger, I believe it's a higher caliber and a higher velocity cannon here. I don't know the specifics, but it is a larger, physically larger cannon on this one. But this one specifically is the version from the Korean War. Now, basically, other than the camouflage, which I'm sure you've noticed and we'll talk about in a minute, basically the same tank as the World War II version. I think the only difference, and I could be wrong on this, is the Korean War version has this little box on the turret here, and that's just like a phone for infantry to be able to talk to the tankers inside the tank. Although I do believe there were actually a couple of these with the phone in World War II. I believe, of all places, in the Pacific Theater near the end of the war. I think. Don't quote me on any of that. But again, other than this little telephone box, it's basically a World War II Sherman. Now, the cool thing about this kit is the color scheme. So you have this little evil little demon face on here, and there were several different tanks during the Korean War on the American side that got this sort of treatment. I believe the first Patton, the M46, had like a lion sort of motif, and it's yellow and stripes, and it's interesting, and I think it's really fun to make these kits because they're usually, especially with these like the American tanks, early World War II, early Cold War, it's usually monochrome. It's all like olive drab, drab greens and stuff like that. It's kind of boring sometimes, and you have to, like, if you want to spice it up, you usually have to add like a lot of stowage and stuff. Later on, there's some camo schemes, but even those, it's usually like earth tones. But to actually use red or yellow to large degrees on the tank, it's very interesting, especially when it's alongside of all your other tanks. Now, when I first learned about this, that they did this during the Korean War, my first thought was it was just some random, units. The guys in the field did this for fun or, whatever, to be intimidating. But actually, from what I've learned, I believe this actually came from the higher-ups, that they felt that painting the demons on the tanks would like intimidate or scare the Chinese or North Korean peasant troops. No idea if that worked. If anyone knows if that was effective to any degree, let me know. But I'd be very dubious because, vehicles have been out. I understand that in that time period, Korea and China were technologically, a bit behind the rest of the world, and some of the peasants that always lived in the more rural areas, they may have never seen a car, even though they had been out their cars had been around at that point for at least 30, 40 plus years. But I would assume since they were serving in the military and World War II just happened, they would have known tanks and, vehicles existed. So I'm just not sure painting a monster on the front of it would have had any real effect. I would have just been scared that a tank was bearing down on me. But interesting. It's just an interesting thing, but it does give us this chance to do this really cool kind of paint scheme. And on this one, again, it's the usual US olive drab, but the front plate here, I got to do this like flat red. This is the demon face, I believe. And even though technically you could paint the little mouth and eyes on, these are decals, and everything went on really nicely. I really enjoyed this kit. There's the tow cable was nice. Wasn't horrible like the last kit we talked about, the IS3M, where it was just like a frayed piece of twine it was terrible. This tow cable's fine. I added some stowage just to add some interest here, and on the back I added there's like a box and some ammo crates and some jerry cans and things like that. But overall, I really like this kit. I didn't do a lot of weathering, but I did try to do some light color modulation. There's some parts that don't look so good, like right here. I just noticed there's a little bit of black, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It kind of looks like shadow. I did do some streaking grime and some rain marks. If you look closely, you can see it. But yeah, overall, I think this kit turned out well. No problems at all putting this thing together. Not any. I think these were rubber band tracks, but they're actually pretty snug. They actually look pretty nice. Decals, again, all around were nice. I don't think I had any troubles at all. I think the only thing, if I redid this kit, other than doing some more weathering, I would have changed the little canvas around the gun here. I went with, just to change things up, I went with like a slightly darker shade of green, and it looks fine, but I think I would have just done it in flat, like plain out khaki, just to add a little bit more color differentiation there. It is noticeably darker, but I don't know, just to make it more interesting, I think I would have done khaki, like the standard khaki. Not that this big red front there doesn't sort of suck in the eyes go straight to it anyways. But yeah, this is a nice kit. I don't have it here, but it actually came with a little North Korean Jeep that I also have put together. It's a nice little side thing. Kind of standard price. I think I paid 40 something for it. I don't remember. But it's a good kit. I like this kit. So the kit itself, out of 3 stars, I'm just going to give it a full 3 stars because I just really like it. I like the theming, and it went together great, and I really like this one. So my personal rating on this tank, we have 3 ratings here at the channel. The lowest is a artistically inclined 5th grader, could do better. Second, middle rating is that good old college try. And then my best rating I give myself is certified mediocre. And I'm just straight out, I'm going to give myself a certified mediocre on this. So again, other than me not doing a whole lot of weathering, I think it looks really nice and pretty clean. Again, like right here, there's some little spots where the paint isn't, perfect. But I think, at least up until this point of me making models, this is one of my better ones that I've put together. You can't notice the color modulation, although it's very subtle. But yeah, I like this one. I really like this subject matter and this tank and basically everything about this kit. So I am definitely going to give myself certified mediocre. I would definitely recommend, if you want something a little different, different as in, like, believe me, the Sherman is anything but different. It's your bog standard, World War II tank, and after. There's a ton of Sherman kits out there, and it's various versions. But if you want something a little bit different as far as like painting and color scheme, yeah, this is a cool one. So you got the little red demon face. It looks interesting among the other monochrome olive drab sort of tanks. So yeah, certified mediocre. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.